Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tune In Tuesdays. I hope you're all doing really well. So today is a little bit of a continuation of what I was talking about yesterday, which is approving of self and also disapproving of self. And I've actually got my cards out. So I thought that instead of me just sitting here talking, I would pull some cards and I would do just a little bit of just going to tune in to the energy, right? And just feel into what could be potentially going on with everyone. So right now is a really powerful time. So Neptune's gone into retrograde. And for those of you who don't know much about Neptune, Neptune gives us the ability to see the truth of situations, okay? So where we could have potentially been fantasizing about a situation, we're going to actually begin to see the truth of a situation, if that makes sense, okay? So I'm going to get some cards here. So what that means is, let's say you, often in relationships, especially romantic relationships, and we'll use that as an example because it seems to be the best one to use, right? In romantic relationships, when we meet someone, we get entangled, right? We get all hot and heavy and entangled in this really delicious magnetic push and pull of dating someone, okay? Now, what happens is we kind of go into, and we can, not everyone, but we kind of go into a little bit of a fantasy, right? And I've been guilty of that. We're going to a little bit of a fantasy, and we think about how good things could be with this, like how much better things could get with this person. And instead of just dropping the fantasy, which is really important to do when you first meet someone, drop the fantasy, we keep feeding the fantasy, right? And then all of a sudden, that person is, we're not actually seeing that person as they are and loving and accepting them as they are. We're wanting them to become the person in our fantasy. And when they don't show up that way in reality, we can get upset and disappointed, right? So it's really important that you recognize when you're doing that and you stop doing it. Yeah? Because the only person that it hurts is yourself. Because that person cannot become the person in our fantasy. And our fantasies can be wild and crazy and extreme. And, we can think about how we want it to become, and then we lose focus on how it is. So it's really important that you start to recognize within yourself when you're going into a fantasy and when you're actually focusing on reality. Now, what I say to everyone is that go into the fantasy, allow yourself to have this wild little fantasy, but that's for you. Keep that to yourself. Keep it to yourself and then drop the fantasy. Don't continue it on, because that's going to stop you from being in reality. Yeah. And what I say to everyone that I talk to and I support who is dating is that, a lot of women or men come to me and they're like, yeah, but I want him or her to be like this. I want them to do that. And I say to them, okay, well, can you love and accept this person as they are right now? Can you be with them as they are right now if they never changed? And if the answer's no, then I tell them to walk away. Because we can't change anyone. All we can change is ourselves. Now, sometimes in changing ourselves, the other person changes too, but there's no guarantee in that. So if you're waiting on someone to change, it's because you want them to step into some other version of themselves or the version that's in your fantasy. You're setting yourself up for a lot of heartache and heartbreak. Yeah, because what's going to happen is your energy is going to start to become very judgmental and critical when that person doesn't show up the way you want them to. And they're going to feel that, because everyone feels each other's energy, right? They're going to feel that and they're going to start pulling away from you. And that's going to create all sorts of pain. for you. Yeah? Does that make sense? So when you tune in, what I want you to do is I want you to tune in, and I want you to notice right now in this moment, I want you to think about how you've been disapproving of yourself. Yeah? Think about how you've been disapproving of yourself during this week. Let's say regardless of what's going on in your life at the moment, let's say you're dating someone and things are going really well, or let's say you've broken up with someone and things are really upsetting. Tune in and just notice where you are disapproving of yourself. Are you beating yourself up? Because if you are, you are doing so much damage to your emotional body right now. Right? And I was watching this video this morning on manifestation, right? And the guy that I was watching, he was saying that, and I really loved it. I wrote it down and I put it up on my wall so I look at it every day. He was saying that you are always manifesting, right? You're always manifesting what you want. You're always manifesting what you want. And sometimes you get taken out by a tidal wave, right? You get completely taken out, wiped out. And it's in those moments where it's really important that you're like, damn, I really wanted that. That was really delicious and it was really yum. And God, I loved it. It was so nice. But it was only meant to be momentary, right? It was only meant to be momentary. So what I want is still coming. I've just taken a bit of a detour, right? Now, when you trust in the universe, that the universe is going to bring you what you want, you don't sit there trying to control everything. You don't sit there trying to latch on to something that isn't for you. You don't sit there trying to latch onto the past and recreate it and reinvent it. You just allow yourself to go on this journey, knowing that the best is yet to come. It's always yet to come, right? And yes, sometimes we get entangled and we get lost in a moment and we get caught up in a fantasy. But forgive yourself because you're only human, right? You're probably an overthinker. You probably feel too much. You probably love too much, or you probably, give to the wrong people or whatever it is. And that's okay. But it's really important that you don't beat yourself up. So I'm going to have a look at the cards now, okay? And if you're watching, thank you for watching. I can see one person's watching. I have no idea who it is. So if you feel like letting me know, say drop a hi, don't be shy. I'm going to have a look at the cards and see what it is we need to become more aware of, especially for the lovers, right? All the lovers that are having a hard time at the moment. These relationships, no matter what they are a personal development journey. They are intense and fun and delicious and amazing and challenging, and they teach us more about ourselves. When we stand in front of a mirror, they teach us more about ourselves than they do when we're, doing the work alone. So we've got the Lovers card here. Lovers, toxic ties. So what I'm getting here is that if you have historically been someone who would go into a situation like this, and it would turn out to be toxic ties, there's a really powerful time right now during Neptune that you get really honest with yourself and you release the toxic ties. Okay, now this is at the bottom of the deck. This is the fifth mirror, which is mother, father, belief systems. So this is an invitation for you to go deeper into your own unconscious mind and actually really begin to understand what are the belief systems I created when I was a child. So let's say, for example, your mother and father were constantly arguing when you were a child. And let's say your dad would drink. Mum would shut down, dad would drink, They would disconnect. They wouldn't talk to each other. There'd be zero communication. Now, as a child, you would learn that communication is not necessary in a relationship. Yeah? You would learn that communication is actually, when you argue with someone, you just shut down because that's what your parents did. Yeah? Now, these belief systems are really, really powerful. And what they do is they stay with us until we change them. Yeah? So, you need to go within and you need to look at what your belief systems are, because they're going to be affecting your romantic relationships. And if you go into romantic relationships creating these codependent needs and ties, you're walking into another relationship where you are going to be left feeling damaged and alone and wounded. Okay? You want to go into your romantic relationships as an empowered person, not as a disempowered person. And I'm not saying, look, no one's perfect, right? No one is perfect. You are going to never meet someone who is in their complete evolvement. Anyway, so what that means is that when you meet someone, yeah, this shit's gonna come up. When you're standing in front of a mirror, and I've had lots of different mirrors, but when you're standing in front of a mirror and they have the same wounds as you, you're gonna be like, holy shit, wow, I really like this person. They have a lot of the qualities that I embody. They also have the same wounds as me. So everything I do, they're gonna amplify that back to me tenfold, right? And so this is where the real work begins. When you're standing in front of a mirror and they've got all of these wounds just like you do, it's time to do the inner work. So this is why you got to drop the fantasy, because if you're going into this fantasy, oh, we're going to get married and we're going to live happily ever after and we're going to move in together. And if you're going into this fantasy, you're missing this growth and this expansion and this lesson. Now, this growth and this expansion and this lesson may be what this relationship was always ever going to be about. Maybe it was never going to be a happy ever after. Maybe it was just a moment in time, and a beautiful moment in time, to teach you what you never had before, but also to teach you what needs healing so that you can move on to the next level, so you can meet the next soulmate, right? But if you're in victim mentality and you're waiting for someone to come in and save you, and you're waiting for someone to come in and fight for you, when you're not even fighting for yourself, because if you're avoiding this and you're not going in and doing that inner work and coming out of victim mentality and creating emotional balance for yourself, then you're going to constantly be attracting the same types of relationships, which are these ones. People who run from you, people who disappear, because you're in a fantasy. Does that make sense? It's really, you got to really let go of the goddamn fantasy, even though the fantasy is good. And if you figure out that you want something, if you're like, you know what, shit, I really like this person. I need to, instead of running and sabotaging myself and so look at that, he's disappearing too, right? Instead of running and shutting down and disappearing, you got to show up and be like, hey, I'm going to be really brave right now, right? I actually really like you, but I still don't know what I want, but I really like you, and I would like to explore this a little bit further. Actually, I want to feel closer to you. I want to see you more often throughout the week. I want to actually connect more. I want another chance. I want to reincarnate what we have. I want to explore this with you, even though I don't know what the outcome's going to be and I can't promise you anything. I'd still like to grow with you. I'd still like to explore this with you, right? It's really bloody important. Communication will make or break any relationship. whether it's casual or serious or anything like that, right? So it's really important that, especially when you're standing in front of a mirror, and a really powerful one, that you are transparent, 100% transparent. Otherwise, you risk damaging everything. You could potentially miss that whole relationship altogether because you're trapped in a fantasy of someone coming in, like a Hollywood movie, of someone coming in and chasing you and declaring their undivided love for you and blah, 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 blah. When in reality, yes, that can happen, but not for a long time. I mean, someone's going to do that. They really need to get to know who you are, right? That takes time. Getting to know people takes time. So let's have a look here. There's this energy of walking away, choosing you. I really feel like in this card here, this knight here, right, they're choosing themselves. And in doing that, they're actually choosing a divine union. Okay, so in them choosing themselves this time, because I feel like the energy that I'm feeling is like this person always puts others before them, always considers the other person, is always there for everyone else, to help everyone else, to fix everyone else, to save everyone else. But now this person is choosing themselves, and because they're choosing themselves, they've got a divine counterpart who's coming in to choose them too. Right? So it's actually a really, really beautiful, where this is headed is really beautiful, but you've got to choose you. And that means, that means validation, right? That means a lot of self-love, like a lot of self-love, like, hey, looking in the mirror in the morning going, hey, good morning. You're doing great. And I know you're not where you want to be yet, but keep going. You're doing really great. Okay, so that's what that's about. And what happens is you're actually you're going to understand your emotions on a deeper level, and your consciousness is going to change, and you're going to realize that the key to success is nurturing yourself. Yeah, when you nurture yourself, right, you can manifest anything you want. Like that's the key. The key is being super gentle with yourself, being super loving with yourself. You create connection. When you're gentle with yourself, people come in and they start being gentle with you too. And they start showing you how you've been treating yourself. You're going to have, whether it's right now or in a few weeks' time, you're going to go through a massive transformation, right? You have to go through a massive transformation. You have to change the inner dialogue. You have to change the way you're speaking to yourself and about yourself, because if you continue to beat the shit out of yourself, they're the types of relationships you're going to attract, right? Let's just see what else this death card is about. Yep. You're giving birth to a new version of yourself. Now, here's the thing about this, right? We've got to remember is that when you give birth to this new version of yourself, the new you is a baby, and she or he needs to be nurtured. So when you have a baby in your presence, you're very gentle and soft and sweet with them. Oh, you're crying. Come here. It's okay. I'll hold you. It's all right. I got you. It's all right. You're doing great. You're so cute. You're so beautiful. I love you. That's how you speak to babies. That's how you got to speak to yourself. You can't expect to be in a negative state for something positive to happen. Like, it just doesn't work like that, right? You got to change your state, and that starts with self-love. This is suggesting you ask your angels for support. This is the angels of love, right? Angels, show me, don't be like, angels, please send someone for me. Where's my person? No, you're going to be like, angels, show me how I need to love myself on a deeper level. Please show me how I can love myself on a deeper level. Now, this connection, there is a connection here, and it will come in. And it will be like this person, look at this person who's coming towards you. this connection that's coming in is going to be like no other connection you've ever had. This is the card that was next to it. Exciting times, Queen of Water, clarity. So this woman, this queen, and the queen can be a man or a woman, right? Alarm bells, listen to my dishwasher, right? This is a woman or a man who knows themselves. This is a queen who knows themselves because they've processed their emotions and they know what they want and they're going to go after what they want, right? They're not going to let any shit get in their way. Now, it's going to be an amazing connection. It's not going to be all smooth sailing though, but it's going to be very magnetic, right? This new connection that's coming in. Let's just actually, before I show you these cards, let's just see, is it a past person, a new person, or oh, okay. It could be an old person. It could be someone it could be like a past life relationship, right? And what I'm getting from the cards here is that there could be a bit of an age gap between you and this person. And this person has great wisdom. Yeah. And this person has great strength and passion and patience. But they use logic, right, in all situations. And that comes from them being hurt as well. So it's actually going to be really good for you because this person's going to come in and open up some doors for you. Now this card, this person's going to come in, this lion is going to come in. So he's got the energy of a lion, right? He's going to come in and he's going to open this door and offer you something. That lion can also be a woman, right? So forget gender. But are you going to walk through it? That's going to require you to remove blocks. So what I'm feeling here is that there is this aspect of your personality that is quite negative. And this is going to require you to really let go of that negative victim mentality consciousness. So you may as well start doing it now because this person, right, is not going to tolerate negativity, is not going to tolerate games, is not going to tolerate your ego wanting to be stroked, right? You can have what you want with this person, but they're going to require you to be really mature. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So now it's not all going to be smooth sailing because this energy that's coming in is going to challenge you to heal your inner child. Okay. That's this one here. Free the ties. Heal your inner child because your inner child, if you haven't healed him or her, is going to get in the way of this connection. Conflict will begin when you have unresolved issues from your inner child, when you're trying to get your ego stroked from this person. Now, this is the king of family. This is the feminine running towards the masculine, right? This is you running towards this energy. And this is you actually going, you know what? I'm actually going to commit to myself so that I can commit to this connection. Because this is going to be like a really... this is like a connection that knows no borders. Like it's open, it's free, it's delicious. And what I'm seeing here is that you walk into this as the Fool. This is a new beginning. So the Fool is like, wow, I'm really being guided by the universe to jump into this, right? To jump into this. But God damn it, I'm scared. But you know what? I'm going to take a leap. Take a leap of faith. Because if I don't, and where's my notes from this morning? If you don't take the leap, you're letting fear dictate you and affect your outcomes. So this is saying you are going to take the leap because you're actually tired of your own shit. You don't want to live like this. And this connection will be a direct reflection, right? The mirror, sometimes you look in a mirror and they're reflecting back to you the opposite of who you are, but what you need to strengthen and work on. And sometimes you look in a mirror and it's a direct reflection. They love like you love. They run like you love. They talk like you love. They're sweet like you're sweet, right? It's full on. And it's going to teach you even more unconditional love of self. So you've got the opportunity here to start a new story. So it's really a really, really beautiful outcome. And this has all come from self-approval, giving yourself self-approval. This is what can happen when you start loving and appreciating yourself, right? And it's going to go on. You're actually going to have so much, you're going to become the best version of yourself through this relationship. You're going to work through a lot of different things and you're going to be able to manifest so much. It's going to bring you into this present moment, right? You're going to have no choice but to live in the present moment. And you're going to start healing and growing through love. Yeah? Not so much through pain anymore. There's going to be a little bit of stuff here. There's still some more stuff to heal. But yeah, look at this. I mean, the seventh mirror is all about perspectives. You're really going to start seeing life from a different perspective, no longer from the victim. And you're going to start nurturing yourself more, right? And because of that, you're going to feel really protected in this relationship, in this union, right? Like, because this is protected love. It's not just protected by the people who are in it. It's protected by the angelic realm and other beings as well. When the universe wants two people to be together, the universe will move mountains to make it all happen. This just keeps getting better. You've got to be really honest with yourself and the other person, because that's what's going to create this deep intimacy. That's what's going to help you become even more powerful and manifest even more of your dreams and your desires. You're going to experience unfamiliar love. But it all starts, I'm going to leave it there. It all starts with you. Yeah? I've gone through the whole, nearly half. I've gone through like 40 cards. It all starts with you. Yeah? It all starts with you approving of yourself, like every single day, in every moment of the day. Even when things happen that you don't like, you're like, okay, well, I didn't like the way that went. You know what? I handled it really well. If you're someone who's been beating yourself up all these years, it's time to stop. And it's time to start approving of yourself and watch how your life changes. So I hope that this little Tune-In Tuesday has helped you. It turned out to be a half an hour reading. Yeah, if it has helped you, drop me a little comment below. Let me know that you like what I'm doing here, what I'm putting out. Let me know you're picking up what I'm putting down. And if you did like it, just give me a little thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and help me grow my channel so even more people get to see what I'm putting out. I'm sending you so much love.